Squibb, and Pfizer.
News.
The U.S. will get a new Attorney General today, Pam Bondi, who was confirmed by the Senate last night with the support of just one Democrat, John Fetterman. Bondi has vowed to end what Republicans call a weaponization of government and targeted prosecutions. So President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning she'll be one of the most consequential attorneys general in our history. He also posted that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon.
With President Trump promising to put maximum pressure on Iran, the Iranians seem ready to talk. A government spokesman saying Iran's foreign policy would be driven by dignity, wisdom and interest. President Trump said he was open to a deal with Iran as he attempted to drive its oil exports down to zero and block its attempts to develop a nuclear weapon. Iran also seems happy about moves to freeze U.S. spending on foreign aid. The Islamist regime's state media hailing what it sees as a blow to U.S. support for the pro-democracy opposition. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The U.S. has flown its first flight of arrested illegal immigrants who've committed crimes or are security threats to Guantanamo, the U.S. prison for terror suspects that'll now house some of these arrested migrants. In New York, there is some assistance for the federal immigration raids.
Leaders in Nassau County on New York's Long Island say 10 detectives will be trained and deputized to conduct arrests of undocumented immigrants just as an immigration and customs enforcement agent would. Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman, a Republican, says they'll be embedded with ICE teams. He says the county will also set aside up to 50 cells in the county jail to hold immigrants for up to 72 hours before they're transferred to ICE custody. New York law prohibits police from holding people solely for immigration enforcement purposes. Blakeman says officers aren't looking for undocumented migrants, but if a crime is committed, they will do a background check and potentially get ICE involved. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are falling ahead of the opening bell this hour. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Lawrence County depends on WDXE News, on the air since 1951. This is The Legend. 105.3, 95.3, WDXE.
That's us, and it's time for the Friends and Neighbors Hour, brought to you by Keller Williams Hood Company. And my friends and neighbors today, Mr. Isaac Moore and Jeff Clifton. Jeff Clifton's already seated. Isaac's making his way into the seat. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good this morning.
Good to see you, man.
It's
good to see you.
Been a while.
Yeah, been a while, but I see you every once in a while on YouTube, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Isaac Moore, of course, has Moe's Pawn Shop. Isaac, how are you this morning?
Doing good, buddy.
Good. Glad y'all agreed to come in. We just kind of on a whim. I've been keeping up with you guys, as a lot of folks do, on the Facebook. What nights do y'all do the auction, the knife sales?
Thursday nights.
Thursday nights. I just happened to stumble on it, and now I'm hooked on it.
It's addictive.
Yeah, it is. It is. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but I want to kind of get a history of you guys. Isaac, in particular, I know a little bit about Mr. Clifton. I know a little bit about Isaac, but not a whole lot. Isaac, how did you wind up in the pawn business? Scoot up to the mic a little bit.
Well, I'm thinking.
You thinking?
Just to make a long story short, one of my best friends, Gary Royson, he was dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And Dad was fixing to retire, and I said, Dad, life's too short not to try something. So we always wanted to open up a pawn shop, and he said, well, we'll try it, son.
Okay.
And here we are.
Yeah, I knew you started kind of with your dad and got started there.
It's been 11 years.
I was going to say how long. It's been 11 years. Well, what have you learned about the pawn business? And be nice.
You get to help a lot of people, but you also got to deal with a bunch of idiots, too.
Well, we won't go that place. We won't go there. But, many years ago I studied the pawn business is basically you're a lender.
Yes.
But you have collateral for the lending. And for some people, it's a good option.
It really is, because banks ain't going to loan you
yeah. So there's
$500.
So there's times when it's needed, maybe. And then walk me through the process. Let's say if my phone keeps ringing, I'll punch it off. But let's say that I had something that I, of value, and I wanted to, convert it into cash, at least temporarily or something like that. How does that process work? What happens?
You just come in, we'll look at it and get on a number, whatever we agree on.
So you can agree on that, and then you got what's the typical window on the payback? Or
say that a lot of people pay. I mean, it's just As long as you pay the interest, it'll roll every 30 days.
Okay, so you can pay the interest and roll it over, or you can just redeem the item altogether and pay off the debt or whatever.
I think state law, it's 60 days before you can do anything with it.
Okay, all right. And so a minimum of 60
Well,
days.
we want people to come back and get, everybody thinks you want to keep it. Well, you don't. I don't want to keep your stuff. I want you to come back and get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the goal is for them
Yeah.
to come back and get their stuff.
Once you lose it, they can't bring that item back again.
Right. Okay. But that inevitably happens, and you end up with a lot of stuff. So you got, and I find it interesting to go into any pawn stores, and you've got one that's full of stuff.
I love it. It's a lot of fun. You see a lot of different stuff.
Well, I was going to ask you while we're talking about that, what are some of the most maybe unusual things that's come through?
Well, I can't say one. We didn't take it, of course, but I would tell you that. But anyway, anything from tractors to firearms, I mean, it's all in between.
A lot of firearms, right?
A lot of firearms.
Jewelry, I guess.
Jewelry's a big one, but it's a lot of firearms.
A lot of firearms, jewelry. I see some instruments sometimes.
TVs ain't what they used to be now. So you can go to Walmart now and buy a brand new 60-inch for about $300.
Right.
And they take up so much room, we don't. It's just.
Yeah, there's not much a demand for that anymore. Most time people throw away a TV and go get another one. They just throw them away and go get another one. Yeah, it's a different world maybe what it used to be.
Just in 11 years, I've seen a lot of change.
I bet. Well, you got a good corner there too.
I like my little corner.
Yeah, you got a good corner where you're
the mayor of that corner.
You're the mayor of that corner? Now, the corner we're talking about is the north end of North Military, near the railroad tracks before you get to what we call Miles Crossing up there, I guess. And so you're now the mayor. I got to remember that. You're the mayor of the north end of North Military up there.
Yeah, my little lot.
Yeah. What's that? What is that street that goes on by you to Murray?
You got.
It's North Military and Weekly Creek.
Jackson's on my left, and then Weekly Creek, but it changes to.
It changes to something else when it goes around Murray. Is it? Is that Helton?
No.
No. What is that? I can't remember.
Okay, you think it's right there where Wishy Washy?
Yeah, where the Wishy Washy is.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, congratulations on becoming mayor of the corner there. By the way, that's we'll have to remember that. Speaking of mayor of a corner, you used to be a mayor of a corner.
I sure did.
What was your corner?
My corner was Cyclone Corner.
That's right.
I was the mayor of Cyclone Corner at one time.
Yeah, it is Rimke.
Rimke, yeah.
It's
it
Rimke.
is. Okay.
It's Rimke. I said Helton. It's Rimke. Thank you, Jimmy Ann. Jimmy Ann helps us. When I get a text message, she helps me know stuff. But Jeff Clifton, your dad and family, you guys ran the station there with Chester Betts many years ago.
Sure did. My dad worked for Chester for over 40 years.
Yeah, I remember your dad.
Then my dad took it over, and I worked there I guess I worked there 10 years.
Yeah. And you were named mayor of the corner. I remember the radio station anointed you mayor of Cyclone Corner there for a little while.
WDXE, Jackie Cheatwood and Elrod.
That's right.
Spoon was a mayor.
I was the mayor of Cyclone Corner.
That's right.
So we got two mayors.
Sure do.
And at some point, you worked there for 10 years, but at some point you went to work for the city. What did you do for the city?
I started out sanitation, then I moved to the street department, then I became the foreman of the parks department of the ball fields. Take care of the ball fields.
I remember you on all of those roles, really, but most recently your last role was with the ball fields. You took care of those, man.
Yeah.
The ball fields evolution has been remarkable.
It has been.
Yeah. There's just tremendous work that goes into those ball fields.
I'm a baseball guy. I like baseball. I like to watch it, and I still help Alan Betts out at Babe Ruth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I help up there with him. I just like baseball. I help Kaufman do their scoreboards.
That's awesome.
So
my boy Daniel loves it too. I got my grandson loves baseball, and Daniel loves it. We're going to be playing a lot coming up. Well, you guys, how did you guys team up and become some of our local knife gurus? You want to tell me a story about that? And it don't matter whichever one of you wants to do the talking, or both of you. But we're talking about one of the reasons I asked you guys in here was because of the pocket knife interest, and there's a lot of guys around in our community that are really into, and I'm one of them, have gotten into these pocket knives, trading and swapping and buying and selling.
Well, when I retired from the city after, some health issues,
Right.
I was sitting at home. I wasn't doing nothing. Just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I did just like you did. I stumbled up on Isaac Moore and knife shows, and I thought, man, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I started buying a few. Then I decided to go up to the pawn shop, meet Isaac. And next thing I know, me and Isaac was together.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to back up behind you then. Isaac, I'm going to go to you. Of course, I know with the pawn shop, people probably brought in knives.
I've messed with knives ever since I was probably 10.
Scoot up just a little bit, right?
Mr. Jim Sargent. A lot of people don't know him, but I'm sure a lot of people in the knife world do.
Yeah.
He used to be down there in Florida. Anyways, that's who struck my.
So you've been collecting since you were young. Then.
I'm buying it, yeah. I tell you what, ever since COVID, a lot of stuff's went up, but
yeah,
especially pocket. I mean, it's unbelievable what some of them.
Yeah, I was shocked myself by.
You'll like tomorrow night. I got a green bone switchblades I'm gonna run.
A green bone switchblade.
Tested.
That's a case knife.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's so simple, but it's cool.
Really.
They are cool.
Well, that's one of the things that people like you and others that are learning, myself trying to learn these knives, and I've learned a lot, and you've actually helped me a little bit with some of the knife values. But what makes a knife valuable?
The age and the pattern. A lot of you got your good patterns. Your big cigar and your jackknives is always. That's a very popular case pattern. Green bone, green and red. I like calling them Christmas colors. That's where you.
I've watched you do this, you and Jeff, and you pull a knife up and you say it's a green bone, but it doesn't look green to me.
That's just what they call it.
That's just what they call it. So it's not green like a Sundrop bottle green.
No, it's like that's just what they call them. I couldn't explain
interesting.
it.
And now, what's the difference? The bone handle and the stag handle. Elaborate a little bit on those for me.
Well, you stags, you sandbar stag, you Indian stag. A lot of your early ones would probably be whitetail, early American. But stag is from the deer's horn.
Right.
And then bone, they dyed it years ago.
What bone is it? I mean, what kind of bone?
It's cow bone.
It's cow bone. Okay. Always? Is it always that? Or?
Different jigging you'll call. You got Rogers bone, what they call Rogers bone, which is it's different jigging, but it's still bone. If you'll notice, like a lot of you new knives, they'll say peach seed jig. That's just the jigging of the bone.
What is it? I don't understand that. Help me a little bit. What is the jigging of the bone? The way it's marked up, or I'm learning
Here's
still.
A peach seed jig.
Let me see one of those. So I'm looking at this. Is it the texture, the way
the way it is? This is an old one. That's a WDXE.
All right. Oh, I see. This has got more kind of a pattern to the little indentions in the bone there, right? Is that what you're calling the jig?
So you can look like a WDXE jigging and USA jigging. I mean, you can just tell by looking at what year the knife is.
Well, you can tell by looking, but you can tell by looking.
You know what a peach seed, an actual peach seed. You look at that handle.
This.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
It looks like a peach seed.
Yeah, the texture looks like a peach seed. Okay, I got you. But that's what you're calling the jigging. Is that what you're calling the jigging? Okay. All right. Now tell me about this case knife right here, because I like it already.
It's a loom fixer.
It's a what?
What they call a loom fixer.
A loom fixer.
It's a 6217.
62. Is that the? Okay, so
Your first number on that is the handle material, which is 6, which is bone.
Okay.
Your second number is how many blades a knife's got, and your last 2 numbers is the pattern of it. That's
The
a
pattern.
17 pattern,
17.
which they call, it's called a loom fixer.
Okay.
Like they used to cut,
Golly,
like
that thing's
loom,
stout.
like fabric.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean. Fabric cutter. A loom cutter. Is that what you said?
But that's a
That's a
loom
double
fixer.
X. Okay, so this is a double X, and it's a 6217. Now, this is what you would call a user,
It is.
which I like the users.
I do too.
I like the user knives better than I like the brand new knives. Now, Clifton, why are you carrying this one? Is this just one you picked up to carry?
He's cheap.
I'm cheap.
This is a cheap knife.
I tell you
There
what,
ain't no such thing as a cheap knife, evidently.
No.
I bought it off of auction the other day myself, and I just got it in the mail last night.
Okay. All right. Now, just out of curiosity, this little peach seed case knife, this is a double X. Now, what's it mean? It's got dots above and dots below on the blade.
That's the age of it.
Okay. And this is a 6137
There it says.
SS. Stainless steel, I guess.
Sodbuster Jr.
Okay. So what's this knife valued at? I'm just
Nah, it's probably about $50.
$50. You are cheap.
I am cheap.
That's interesting, though, and I've learned a lot just in this moment. Even though I've been following you guys for a while, this is a different story here, though, isn't it?
It is.
How old is this knife?
A double X is 40 to 64, but if it ain't got a pattern number on the back,
Now, when you say 40 to 64, you're talking about 1940 to 1964.
but if it ain't got a pass, see where it says 6217.
Yeah,
If it didn't have that 62 to 17, it'd be 49.
49.
40 to 49.
Yeah, I'm trying. Someone said hold it up to the camera where they can see it. I'm gonna try to hold it up. I don't know if they can see this knife.
There you go.
There we go, right there. Right there.
It's got some pretty red color to it.
So this would be considered a red bone.
That is red bone.
This is red bone knife right there, and case double X. Interesting. All right.
Only difference between me and Isaac is
Yeah.
he carries one that expensive in his pocket. I don't.
All right. Let's talk to Lanny a minute. Hey, good morning, brother.
Jeff,
Yes, sir.
tell Isaac and them I want 2 spots.
Yeah. Well, he didn't bring the wheel. We should have done that.
Yeah, we
We
should
should have
have
done that and had some fun with that. So as I'm looking at this knife, you said that knife was a $50 knife.
Yeah.
Okay, somewhat. This knife, Isaac, right here, I don't know. Would you take $75 for it?
I don't know if I'd take 400 for it.
400. That's what I'm talking about. So it's amazing. It's incredible how much people will pay for these pocket knives. And man, that thing's got a stout spring in
It
it.
does, and it's old.
It's old, and I mean it pops. And I like that smooth, worn.
I'm like you. I love an old user.
I do too. I love an old user knife, and I don't know if I can give you 400 for it, but anyway. And you know what's sad is, even though you asked that, I'm holding it, wanting it. Give it back to you. I'm standing here holding it, wanting the thing.
Let me tell you a story about
Okay,
that knife.
let's hear that.
He left it laying on the desk down there one day.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I took it home, took pictures of it,
Yeah.
put it up for sale.
Oh Lord.
Well, one of his knife buddies called him up, said, "Where did he get that knife at?" Isaac went in and looked at it. He called me up and said, "You better get that off right now. That knife's not for sale."
That pissed me off when I seen it. I thought I was going to come unglued.
Well, that's not like you, is it?
Oh, I got a little bit of a temper.
That's not. He's not got no temper.
Let me
does
tell you something real funny. When anybody knows anything about knives,
he? Yeah.
when he first come up there helping me,
Yeah.
excuse me, I collect green bone fixed blades too. You've seen them in my office.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anyways, I keep a sheath separate. Well, the sheaths are pretty valuable too with the original sheath.
Yeah.
Well, I had a bunch of them sitting in a box. I know where they're at. Well, I went back there and my box of sheaths was gone.
Yeah.
I said, Jeff, where's my sheaths? I took them up there. A guy was needing one. I just let him look through them. I said, no. Woo, he got lucky. He didn't sell one.
Well, here's what I want to know. I've been in your office, and I don't know how you would tell where you laid anything.
I'm telling you.
There's stuff everywhere.
It's ridiculous.
And but evidently you know where everything is.
Well,
Pretty close to
I've
it.
got a good memory.
He's
Pretty
got
close
an
to it.
excellent memory.
Yeah.
He can tell you right off the bat what a knife costs, what he paid for it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got over 1,000 knives laying on the table up there, and
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable how well he knows and keeps up with stuff.
Well, you've become an expert, really.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, at least on a local level, I'd say you're.
There's a lot of people that. There's a lot to learn. I'm still learning.
Well, I mean, there's a gazillion knives. What are the there's lots of brand names, but in my novice opinion, the case knives are the most traded and most sought after. They seem to be. Is that pretty
The
much?
case probably takes 9%. There's a lot of people like Steve Inman, for instance. He loves Colonel Coons.
Yeah. In fact, I saw he posted where he'd found another Colonel Coon knife. Now, what's the deal on the Colonel Coon? Give me some history on that.
Adrian
Why is that a popular knife?
Adrian Harris from Columbia started making them years ago.
So he was a local knife maker, or?
Well, here's the deal with. Trying to think of a name. Guy used to go to my church. He's a commissioner.
Okay.
What's it? Older fellow from Summertown. What's his name?
I don't know.
Hold
We're
on.
thinking.
It's actually pretty cool history, actually. Benefield, Delano.
Yeah, okay. I've heard of him.
He used to supply the bone to Adrian for the knives.
Okay.
I thought that's pretty cool.
That is cool. So these Colonel Coon knives were made up in Columbia, is that right?
Yeah.
Or somewhere in that area?
I think it was, they used Camillus blades. They ordered them, and then they had them stamped Colonel Coon. But he put, as far as I know, I'm not an expert. Steve can tell you anything about them, but he did put them together. But
Are they? I
very-
guess they're somewhat highly sought after. At least, are they an expensive knife? Most of them are.
yeah, I don't think you find one under 200.
So 200 up, depending on what they are. Were there a lot of? And I'm just curious because I've heard of them, but I don't know if I've ever had one or even held one. Are they fairly rare?
The only really rare ones that I've seen is the ones that he stamped his name on inside the liner, Adrian Harris, on the Barlows, the stacked
Okay.
Barlows.
Okay. You got any?
I don't. When I get them, I sell them to Steve.
Steve Inman. Now he does some shows, doesn't he?
Me and him we used to do them together,
Yeah.
and I didn't think I liked it, but when Jeff come along, it just kind of clicked. I didn't really dream it would get as big as what it has, as far as the people I've met and the amount of knives we go through.
Well, you guys do on Thursday nights, which will be tomorrow night. You'll be live on Facebook. What time does it come on?
5:30 is when we usually start.
You start at 5:30? Because I usually am late getting there then. I'll be sitting up when my day's ended and I sit down and maybe pull up my phone, see what's going on Facebook. I'm like, oh, they're doing the knives tonight, So there I'm stuck, and I start watching, and it's always interesting and fun watching.
We usually run, like today, we're going to run about 3 with some newer stuff. We bought a big collection, got it in yesterday. We've been going through it, and we're going to try to go through some of it.
Wow.
Try to keep usually we'll run on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then
So y'all do some others besides Thursday night then?
Yeah, most time. I think we're going to start keeping it on Wednesday, doing a Wednesday from 3 to 6, something like that.
3 to
And
6.
then our Thursday show will be starting at 5:30.
That's interesting.
We decided to do it like that because it helps on saving money for shipping. That way I can ship both days together.
Are you guys, since it's on Facebook, of course, it could be seen anywhere.
Yeah, as long as you got a Facebook.
As long as you got a Facebook account, you can watch the knife auction, and it's a live auction.
It's life.
And you know what's frustrating though? Sometimes, and it's happened a time or two. On my list, when I put my bid in, I'll be on the top, but I'm still behind.
That's what they call a lag.
It's called a lag, yeah. And the timing of when it gets to you is a little different from when I see it. So, and hey, that's just part of it. It's not your fault. It's
You're going to teach them how to be a real auctioneer.
Well, you're doing it all right by yourself. You're doing it all right that way. And you don't need an auctioneer to do it that way, you know.
No, but it'd
it's
be
just
fun
online.
if you...
I'll come. Maybe I'll come in one Thursday and
There
just
you go.
sit in with you. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I'll
I'm
come
telling
in.
you, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. If you let me one Thursday, I'll come play
You're
with you.
more than welcome anytime.
All right, I'll come
Come
play
on.
with you. That'd be fun. Can you bid if I'm there in the studio? Bid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be like cheating right there. Cause
Yeah. What's crazy is you lag still. Even you're sitting there right there beside me, your lag is still.
oh, that's right. That's right. I still have to do it through the phone. You're not gonna let me tell you. Well, that ain't no good.
I'm telling you, people get fighting mad.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't want to make anybody mad. No, it's not worth that. But my goodness, I have bought a whole bunch now.
You have.
I've collected a few, and gotten a pretty good case full, and then some. And then Lanny, who called in, him and Barry, they're big time into
They are.
knife collecting and swapping and trading, and.
Laney's got a nice little collection. going.
Lanny's got a nice, and he's given me and Daniel several knives. He gave Daniel a lot of knives, and Daniel's tickled to death, and me and him talk knives a lot. And the other day though, I got tickled because Daniel looked at me and said, "Did you buy some more knives?" I'm like, well, yeah, I bought some more. What's I was going to ask you, Isaac, either one of you, but. What's the most expensive knife, single knife, that has come through your knife sales?
The most expensive one I sold, I guess I sold a 63 94 and a half, and it brought 5,000.
A 63 94 and a half. Now, what is that? Explain that. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I kind of know, but for those that don't know, what are you talking about?
It's just a large. It's a big knife. It's a big, large frame Stockman.
Big, large frame Stockman case knife.
Yeah, long pull,
Okay.
green bone.
So the 63 was the year?
No, it's the pattern.
That's the pattern.
Remember, the first number is the
Okay,
handle
so the
material.
pattern. So, all right. And what's the 94 and a half?
That's the pattern.
That's the pattern.
So they make a 94. The half means it's a clip blade.
A clip blade.
See, I've got, like, you'll see some tomorrow. I'll have a 90. I won't have a 94 and a half tomorrow, but you'll see a 94, a 62 94, which is a large cigar.
Remember, the 6 is the bone. It's
Okay.
the handle material.
So the bone, then you got a 63, 94 and a half. So this whole thing is the knife pattern.
Yes.
Well, what made this knife so valuable?
I can't tell you that. It's just
A $5,000 knife, pocket knife?
them 94 and a halves
Is it a rare?
it is to be in a near mint state.
Okay. All right. So this was a not used knife at all, really.
A lot of times when I say this, it's going to be a bunch of questions that people ask, but most of you tested knives, I ain't seen very many that haven't been cleaned. But if you clean them the right way, you ain't gonna tell.
So it's you clean them up to the point where they look basically new.
Well, you can't. And a lot of them have been cleaned years ago. But
Yeah. That's interesting.
You'd be surprised at how many people will call Isaac up because they know Isaac's in the knife community is known as the Greenbone Man.
Okay.
I mean, they call him up about green bones, and he's just well known. I mean, the knife community is a community that you just won't believe.
Oh, I'm not believing it. I've gotten my nose into it a little bit, and I'm like,
I
holy
don't
cow!
know
It's a
half
bigger
of
world.
what-
It's a bigger world than I was aware of.
Mr. Wells, I talked to him a bunch, and he.
Now, where I see his name pop up on the sale. I've heard y'all talk about Mr. Wells. Now, where's he located?
He's in Kentucky.
He's in Kentucky.
He lives in Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Now, what? So he's a knife guru.
That's all he's ever done his whole life is for a living is trade and sell pocket knives.
Really? So he made his whole living
He's done
buying and
extremely
selling.
well for himself. Very, very knowledgeable.
Well, he's the one that
He's got a price
kind of
guide.
sets the price on this stuff. Then.
And a lot of times price guides is just, I mean, you can't go, like I always say, price guide never bought a knife. I mean, you can.
Oh yeah, the price
it's
guide
just
is just a. It's like us in real estate. There's lots of ways to value real estate and get an opinion, but it's still just an opinion. You can do an appraisal on a piece of property, and you can use all the data. And like my phone, I can punch in an address, and it'll tell me what the value of that property ought to be. But that's still an opinion. I tell people all the time, we can look it up. You can look it up. You can look up your home address, and it'll tell you a value. But you still got to stand there and go, is that house really worth it, or is it worth more than that?
Or if somebody joins me, it's going to be worth more to me.
Yeah, that's right. It could be worth more to the neighbor than it is to anybody in the world. So you just have to. It's all subjective. That's the world of collecting. Period.
It is.
Not just knives, but there's collections of every kind and sort. I run into them at the auctions that we do. People have collected different things, and the value goes up and down. It's crazy. There's somebody wanting a knife right now, probably.
That's Mr. Kelby Sutton. They don't tell him what he wants.
Years ago, my wife got into collecting a certain kind of dishes. They were called Blue Ridge. You ever run across any Blue Ridge dishes? There's a history of those. They're hand painted, and all that kind of, and they're not that rare, but people collected them, and they got real popular, and then they fell off, and they're not as popular anymore. Let's take a phone call. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? What's up, Jeff? It's Jerry Bronner.
Hey, Jerry Bronner. You got a question?
Calling to ask. Yeah, I'm listening to y'all's broadcast, and I've got some Colonel Coon knives, and I wondered if they had went up in value lately, or if they're like they used to be, or what's the deal with them since they no longer make them.
They're according to Isaac here, they're as high as they've ever been, and yeah, they're valuable.
I've got one that's pretty cool. It's a Mule Day #1 edition. It's the first one out of the 500.
Oh wow!
So I got some pretty cool. My uncle used to buy them and give them to me, so I still got some.
Oh, well, I'd love to see them.
All right, I'll bring my favorite one and show it to you.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Sounds good, man.
Bud. Love you, man. See
Love you, bud. Yeah, good deal. We're trading knives already.
There you go.
Trading knives already. So there's a Colonel Coon for you. How about that? I bet you Steve Edmonds calling him right now.
Probably is.
Steve Edmonds calling him right now.
He's got the biggest Colonel Coon collection I've ever seen.
Steve, you stay off him. I want to talk to him first. I haven't. My problem is, and this is a problem, I guess, with any collectors. Jeff, how do you settle in on what you want to stay after?
It was when I first started. I started out peanuts. I started buying peanuts when I first started.
And the peanuts, for those that don't know, is a style of little case knife.
Yeah.
Little peanut.
And then one day I saw it's called a 6.5 bone stag.
Yeah.
And now I've gone. That's all I collect. I don't collect nothing but those. And I got a nice little case. Isaac's helped me out. He's bought me a nice cheetah cub that was hard to find. I don't know how he found it, but he found it.
Wow.
And but I got probably over 51 of those 6.5s now.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Tell me what I've got right here. This is my pocket knife, and I'll tell you the story behind that. I'll tell you the story of that in a minute. Jeff's looking at my pocket knife, what I'm carrying.
7 dot.
7 dot.
Anything. I can still see. 5208. You're right. Isaac said it was 5208.
5208.
6208.
6208. Okay. So is this a red bone?
No.
It's not a red bone. What bone is it?
Bone.
Just bone.
It's reddish. Reddish.
It looks reddish.
Well, let me show you the difference. And this is a big. I don't get into them idiots on Facebook that want to.
Okay. All right. So I see, it's a lighter. But this knife, Mr. Lanny Hurst gave me this knife. And the reason he gave me this knife is I had one like this, only it was an older user, and I lost it. And I got on the radio crying and whining about it. And and Lanny gave me this one to replace it. And so I've been carrying it ever since. And if you want to see that knife, there it is right there. Pretty little. Now, what do you call this, though, besides the number pattern?
It's a small whittler.
Small whittler. Small. That's I thought. And this is my favorite model knife. You said the peanut was yours, but I love the little small whittlers. So I'm probably going to zero in on these because I'm so eclectic. I'm just all over the board. I've got all kinds of crazy knives. And so if I zeroed in on them, what would be the one to look for?
I like the green.
Okay, so the green, you can get a green handle in this.
Yeah, and the old ones now, it'll be a double X.
Be an old double X green.
They didn't make tested in them.
All right, so if we found one, if I found a green bone double X in one of these that was in, I guess, and it could be a user, I guess, but what would I have to pay to have one of these?
I meant one probably $300 to $400 on a mint one.
$300 to $400 on a mint one. But what if I don't want a mint one?
Probably $200.
A used one, See, this is a user.
That's a good user. I mean, the blade's still.
Yeah, it's good, but it's a user. But I like it.
It's small. It's good to carry in the
That's
pocket.
a good little carry pocket knife. It is. I love that. That's awesome. I've got Isaac Moore and Jeff Clifton in the building here with me for the Friends and Neighbors Hour. Friends and Neighbors Hour today is brought to you by Keller Williams Hood Company. But I want to give you a little promo too for Moe's Pawn Shop. You've got your own business running there for a long time. You and your dad started that. When did y'all start that? 2013?
No.
I remember.
13 or 14. We've been there. September was 11 years.
Did y'all buy that building?
Bought that from Rick.
Bought it from Rick Lanning because he had Rick's there for a little while.
He did.
And did pretty good there on that corner. And so you took it over at that point, and then later on became mayor of the corner.
Mayor of the corner.
Good deal. Moe's Pond right there at the north end of North Military. Well, Clifton, what do you when y'all get ready for a sale? How do y'all decide? I mean, I've been in your office, and there's just literally hundreds of knives. How do you decide what you're going to put on the board for a day?
It takes him a while to put a show together because he goes through every knife. He looks at them, opens them. He makes sure there ain't no chips or cracks. Every once in a while, one will slip by and it'll have a little crack in it. But
yeah.
Regardless, it still sells.
Yeah.
You got knives that cracks and knives that's going to crack.
Yeah, that's what you say, right?
That's Isaac. Isaac's come up with that saying, and it's pretty well true.
I think it is. I mean, a lot of that. I have rehandled a few, and there's no money in it. And I don't do it anymore. But there's a lot of pressure on that center pin.
Yeah.
And that knife's just sitting there, regardless if it's never been used.
Well, if and I'm gonna hold this up here. The center pin you're talking about, I'm gonna put it right there. Is that little part right there? Where'd it go? Right there. And it moved on me, but anyway. And that's when you ever see a crack. That's usually where it is, isn't it?
On the pins. Most times it's pins. A lot of times it's from that'll be cracked from a factory.
That's interesting.
Matter of fact, we got a knife in the other day. I mean, just brand new from case, and it had a pin crack. Of course, I sent it back and they fixed it. But
what they do? Just replace them.
They'll just replace the handle on it.
Just replace the handle on it. Is there I guess a business or people that replace handles and put custom handles and all that kind of stuff on these knives?
There is. I don't like. I clean them, but I don't just do it for. You can take let's just say a knife that's in rough shape, and if I clean it, I'll just have to show you one day. But people send me. I've got people from all over send me, but I'm pretty picky about what I take. I just ain't got time
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty time-consuming thing to clean a knife.
And then anybody can do it. It's just all, it's just time-consuming.
Yeah. Well, but when you do it, they look practically brand new.
They look. A lot of people can't even tell it's been cleaned. I mean, if there's just something on it.
Yeah.
Lanny, I've cleaned a couple for him, help him out. He had one that his buddy gave him.
Right.
I'll tickle him to death.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you said that you like to collect the fixed handles.
I like anything green.
Any green bone handle. Now what did you decide on that for?
I don't know.
It's just something that took you. Okay.
I just like that green bone.
But it ain't green.
No.
That's just weird. What number is the green? What is?
It'd be a 6.
It's a 6.
You know, that started, and started when as far as I know, and it's still to this day, that's how so that'd be a 6208.
Yeah, it is a 62. So you've confused me. You've totally confused me. You said the 6 is a green.
No, 6 is bone.
6 is bone. So what number tells you it's green?
Just looking at it.
Listen, I'm not going to be any more knowledgeable than I was to start with. I'm going to have to take a knife education course.
I would have brought one to show you the difference, but I didn't think about it.
So there's not a number in the serial numbers that tells you the color of the bone. No. It's just bone. So 6 is bone.
Yeah, like 5 is stag.
5 is stag. What about the yellow handles and the other?
That'd be a 3.
So is there any others?
Yeah, you got 8.
Now what is that?
8 is mother of pearl.
Mother of pearl.
9, you got 9. 7, I think, is wood. 9 is like Corlon imitation.
Was that like the black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or then, like it looks like marble, like you'll see some handles like this, that's Corlon.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, you donated a knife to help out the, you remember I was in there? And you donated a knife for the kids' place. You remember doing that?
No, but
I can't believe you don't remember that.
I remember.
Everybody, I always try to I give it to everybody.
Well, you did. You know, I was going to tell you what happened. It was a brand new knife. It was an orange handle sod buster. You remember that?
I do now.
Okay. And I said, well, because I didn't know. I said, what should this knife, do? And it was a price on it. It was like $65 or something like that. You'll be surprised to know and happy to know that that donation netted well over $100.
Well, good.
Yeah, for them. It went really well.
That is good.
Yeah, it went well. So anyway, I just happened to think of that. It is 8:47, and we've got Isaac Moore from Moe's Pond and his Tonto sidekick, Jeff Clifton. And have they given you a nickname up there yet?
I've got a nickname.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Big Spoon.
Big Spoon. Now, how'd that happen?
Hell,
I can guess, but...
I'm not going to go into elaborations, but it'd be a year ago this coming March. Me and Isaac went to a big knife show in Lafayette, Tennessee called the Big Knife and Gun Show.
Big Knife and Gun Show, okay.
And all the big wheels were there. Robert Wales for them was there. Well, we come in the next morning, and Isaac told somebody I was now known as Big Spoon, and this just took off. I mean, I can't go on to a knife show without somebody saying, there's Big Spoon.
Big Spoon. Well, cool.
So
Good deal. Well, so have you got any I came real close to trading with you and buying a knife display. You remember that?
It's on the wall now.
You hung it on the wall. We never could get together on it. Well, my question to you is, how collectible? I mean, they're obviously collectibles. I've seen them, but when we say a knife display, it's like evidently are these that
was a copperhead set, like from a mint set from the 90s.
The case actually
did all that.
So they do these, and so it's a set of a certain type or year or whatever.
Yeah, they make there's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them.
Still to this day, they do mint sets and all different. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of stuff they put out.
Yeah. Is there one that's kind of sought after, or
Not really. They're
not
all,
really? Just what your
they've been
taste
around
is?
probably since the late '90s. The mint, the mint sets and stuff like that. And
Right.
I'm sure that's going to keep going up in value, but
Yeah.
I don't know of any that's just off the charts. But some of the new knives, like for instance that cheetah cub he's talking about,
Yeah.
when they come out with them, you can buy a new cheetah cub for about $60.
Yeah.
That knife now is $250.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
The color of them, Indian paintbrush is another high one.
Now, what's Indian
It's
paint?
called Indian paintbrush.
Now, what is that?
And
What does it
like
look like?
a real orange looking. It's pretty, and they call it Indian paintbrush. I think they made them in 2003.
Is it a bone?
It is dyed bone.
I think I just bought one. I think one of the last ones I got was that.
Made in 03. It'd be an 03 model, pretty sure.
No, I don't know. No, I didn't. What I got was a 10 dot, but it was a real pretty orangey looking handle on it. It was real pretty.
They make some. They make tangerine.
I think it was a Congress back. I have to look. This is one of the last ones I bought from you guys. Anyway, well, I've been really proud of my little mini whittler here. That's the one I told.
Yeah, you can't beat old Lanny.
Oh no. Lanny's been good to me and us, and I'm thinking about figuring out how I can whine for a new car. What if he'd give me a vehicle if I whined enough? I did kind of whine over losing my knife, and he felt sorry for me and gave me one. It's pretty good. I bought several. Barry's he sent Daniel a knife or two too. Up there, but anyway, they're good folks. It's just fun. It's just something to do, and if you can afford to have a little hobby, it's a good hobby.
That's what I said whenever I was sitting at home. Getting to know Isaac was the best thing that ever happened to me because, man, I've
You
learned.
don't say that. Are you kidding? Don't say that.
Man, he's helped me out and he's taught me so much about knives.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll hand me a knife and say, "What is this?" I said, "I don't know. I just do paperwork."
Yeah. Well, y'all got a good thing going on. It's a lot of fun. So today, we're going to sell some knives today.
3:00.
Have you already got you set? What are you going to be selling today?
I put it on there.
You do what?
I put a preview.
Oh, you did a preview. Okay. Well, somebody else may want to ask a question or two. Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. I had a question about a case knife. I lost one. It was a small whittler. It had 3 blades, and the springs on one end had a spring for each blade, but then they went together to make the spring for the other end. I was wondering what style that was called.
Split back whittler.
It's a split. He says it's a split back whittler.
Be an 83 pattern, sure.
Split back whittler is what he's saying that is. Does that make
Split
sense?
back whittler.
Split back
It does.
whittler. Yeah.
I think this one had a Darylin handle, which was not a bone, but a plastic handle.
Plastic. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you lost it.
I lost it. Strangely enough, I lost it twice. I lost it at the Ockerland Hotel at a ag convention, and then a buddy of mine found it and gave it back to me like a year later.
Oh, wow.
Then I lost it again. I guess it's gone this time.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, man, maybe you can find another one like it.
All right, split back whittler. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I think I remember seeing one of those at one time or another.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 of
You
them.
got some of them?
That's our show we're doing today right there.
Okay, so if you want to look up Isaac Moore on Facebook, you can see a preview of some of the knives that'll be sold this afternoon. And then you do a preview. Man, there's some good-looking stuff in there. I don't need to be tempted.
Now, tomorrow's actually our big show.
Yeah, the big show is usually tomorrow on Thursday evenings.
Thursday evening. He offers a lot more nicer material, knives.
What's the farthest away you've had a buyer?
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Really? You had to ship one to Hawaii?
I shipped one to Hawaii.
Holy cow!
There's people all over the country.
What's it typically cost to ship a knife?
Well, we switched. I don't know if I should say this or not over here. We switched to UPS because our postal service is really struggling right now delivering.
Yeah.
So we've switched to UPS. The one that went to Hawaii cost $12.
Okay. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. But they average anywhere from $4 to $10.
Yeah.
Ship.
That's not bad. And
Our
you
local
add that.
post office is good, so don't.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, our local folks
we
work
don't
hard.
have trouble with ours. Like Sean, you can't beat him, but we've had a lot of trouble with them.
It's the ones up in Nashville.
Out and about.
They just don't. They don't scan them in when they get up there.
Once they leave here, you trust in.
Yeah.
You're trusting other post offices all over the country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sean can tell you he delivers up there every day.
Yeah, Sean's good.
Yeah. I gotta teach you to stay with the microphone. You keep leaving. You keep leaving over there. Well, that shipping one to Hawaii, but I was thinking, I thought it'd been more than that, honestly. But you add that to whatever they.
Yes, we
Whatever
do. If you buy one knife, we sort of stay around. We used to stay around $7. Now it's a flat rate $10 shipping.
Okay. All right, so that ain't too bad.
No, it
That's
ain't
not
bad
too
at all.
Especially when you're talking about something that's hundreds of dollars, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
and shipping them all over, you know. Now I'm lucky enough that I get to just drive up and pick mine up.
Right.
But you guys are selling in a lot of states.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say we have pretty well shipped just about. I'm gonna say just about every state.
That's amazing. How many people have you seen? When y'all are looking at your Facebook, can you tell how many people are actually watching?
Yes.
What's the numbers running?
Sometimes have been up to 115, 120 people at one time.
Yeah.
But boy, that makes it rough on lags.
I'm sure it does.
And you know but our average, I'm gonna say, is between 80 and 90 people a night.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And they're scattered all over the country.
Yeah. But you know, they come in and out. We got people come in.
Oh yeah, I do the same thing. I'll leave it and then I'll come back, and I'll leave it and come back, and that kind of thing. Because you know you're doing things in the evening, but that's what makes it fun. You know, you be able to come back to it.
Yeah, and then the good thing is you know, we invoice the same night.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you say invoice, you do that through, what is it, Venmo or something like that? Or what?
Well, I'll send it through Messenger to the person, then they'll pay through either PayPal, Venmo, cash. Postal money order.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
And you know, our show don't usually get over to around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So sometimes you're not getting the invoice till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right. I always get mine.
Yeah.
I always get mine. And somehow or another, I don't know if he puts his thumb on the scale or something. I always seem to end up paying more than what I thought I paid. What the heck with that?
I have been known to make mistakes, you know, so it's good to go back and
probably good to keep up with it. Yeah. Oh, but anyway. Well, anything else we need to add before we wind this up? We got about a minute, a little more than that. What would you like folks to know about it?
Just go on Isaac Moore's page, his personal Facebook page, and just watch it, because it's amazing to watch these knives, watch these people bid on it. And
yeah, you can see the numbers. I mean, you'll see who's bidding and what they bid, and they just keep climbing up. And it's a timed auction.
It's a minute and 13 seconds.
A minute and 13. Once you get the first bid, you hit the clock, and then you got a minute and 13 seconds to try to win it.
Yeah,
that's fun.
But other than that, I mean, you're not going to deal with a more honest person than Isaac. I mean, he treats you fair, he treats you right. He's got a good heart, and he believes in helping people.
I'm telling you, you're bragging on Isaac too much. He's bragging on you too much.
So, and he's helped a lot of people get started in the knife business.
I've enjoyed doing it, and I'll have to say, Isaac, I've enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about, and getting to know you. And we've known you a while. I traded on you on some other stuff, I remember, been a while back, you may remember, I bought a little wad of silver from you one time.
I did.
And just for fun, and I've tried trading on all that stuff. I may need to trade all that stuff in on some more knives.
It's went up.
Has it? All right. Well, listen, we got to wind her up. Appreciate you guys coming in. Isaac Moore and good friend Jeff Clifton. Buddy, you guys are having fun, and just keep doing it.
Thank you, buddy.
Just keep doing it.
Appreciate
you coming in with me, okay? We'll see you next time. We got to get loose here. Thanks for coming in, guys.
All right, thanks.
Prospect Communications.
He's not getting a lot of support from other world leaders. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They're pushing back.